let's get through this. Let's listen to this replay here. I take this very seriously. This case has kind of really captured my heart, and I'm very appreciative of the sources that have come forward to me, and I want to make sure that I do this with respect. Someone's life was lost. Someone's life was taken at a very, very young age in an institute where they sent their family member off to become a public servant to our community. This, this gentleman was following his dream. He didn't ask for this. And to me, 43 days out, where we have supposedly the best criminal defense lawyer investigator in Boston on this case, David Meyer, and when I ask simple questions to his office and get a very blanket answer, that's not right. We want to know 43 days out. We're not hearing anything. Nothing is being reported. So that tells me that two things, one of two things. This is a huge, wide-scale thing that has gone on for a long time, that this is this hazing or beating or whatever it may be at this point has gone on for a long time, and people were either silenced or didn't get to this level, or two, this is becoming one of the biggest major cover-ups. I'm getting tired of talking about this stuff. Karen Reed, Sandra Birchmore, it's the same thing in all of this. These institutions are put in place to quote unquote protect and serve, to serve and protect. I'm sorry, but that's not what we're getting here. We're not getting truth and transparency. So what happened? Just let us know. I'm getting tired of the list growing. The list is growing here in 2024. It's getting bigger. I don't want the list to grow anymore. We shouldn't have to be out standing on Saturdays and Sundays holding signs up to demand justice here in Massachusetts. We should be out enjoying our Saturdays and Sundays. And God bless all those people that get out and do this every weekend. Weekend after weekend after weekend. They take 2, 3, 4 hours of their life to stand out and say, hey, something's wrong something's going on here. It's wrong. This is not right. We want answers. Please be more transparent. Give us something here. You took over this case, David Meyer, what? Almost a month ago. And still nothing. No statement, no nothing, no report. I forwarded the Mass State Police. Can't get anything. Active investigation. Oh, now we're going to hide behind HIPAA because what's in the video? Well, what's in the video? Show it. Let us know. David Meyer's office. Oh, we're not going to comment at this time. I knew I was going to get those standard answers, but I got to try. I got to say something. No one else is saying anything. No one else is standing up. This poor family wants answers. All right, let's go to Joe Early's presser here, Worcester DA.
Right here. Okay. If you don't mind, I'm sorry. It just looks awkward. Okay. Come right over here.
Teresa, thank you so much for the 50. I appreciate it.
Please.
Okay, really quick, before I got this, and I want to apologize. I got a couple of super chats that I didn't get to, so I just want to get to this. The Goodmans, thank you so much for the $10. Says, thanks for all that you do, Brian. B&D Rip, Enrique, thank you so much. Peggy, thank you so much. You are a huge donor on this channel. I appreciate that. Wow, $200. Says, I love your channel. Well, I love you being here. I love everybody being here. I love everybody being part of this platform, supporting here what I do. I want to make sure that I get better at this. That's why I do these lives night after night after night, hone my craft, sit down, learn how to do things better in the scale of YouTube and media, better thumbnails, better presentations. My writing skills are improving. I just want to present the best material for all of you. And I appreciate you tune in, and that I am part of your media circle. I appreciate that. And Sarah, thank you. Boston Sarah, thank you so much for becoming a new member here on the channel. You have access to all the members only content. You go to my homepage, scroll all the way down. You'll get members only lives and exclusive members only content. So thank you. I appreciate that. I thank you so much. Let's see. And Jennifer, thank you so much for the 20 on Venmo. I appreciate that as well. All right, let's watch through this press conference again. Like I said, very odd press conference. I said that from the start, but now that we have the background, we knew what went on before this presser. So that is why this is such an odd reaction to what went on. Lauren, thank you so much. Lori, thank you so much for becoming a new YouTube member. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good morning. Enrique Delgado Garcia was pronounced deceased at UMass Hospital Lakeside at 4:30 p.m. on September 13th, Saturday. Enrique Delgado Garcia was loved by everyone in our office. He's a dedicated victim witness advocate who joined our office and was with us for about a year and a half before he left our office in April to fulfill a lifelong dream of joining the Massachusetts State Police. This is a time of mourning.
Thank you, Ann. Glad to have you here.
This includes many of us, his fellow victim witness advocates, office employees who worked alongside Enrique within our office. This is a heartbreaking and tragic loss. Enrique constantly worked to make life better for others. He was one of the first ones to help, whether it was the victims he was advocating for, his fellow co-workers. He always did so with one of the biggest smiles that you've ever seen.
I did get Peggy, Tim. Yeah, I did get it.
I remember many evenings after 6 p.m. that I'd be walking out of my office and Enrique would still be at the front, either talking on the phone to a victim's family, and it would be Enrique, myself, and Margaret Luwamba, who was the supervisor within the victim witness office.
Let me just pause this really quick. Lindy, thank you. $2. Says, hi, Brian, my crush. I am a year sober from alcohol. That's awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations. You've been here for a very long time on the channel. I know your name. I know who you are. You've been in my chat, I think back from the Idaho 4 days you were here. And that's awesome. So everybody needs to celebrate that in the chat. 1 year sober from alcohol. Congratulations. That is amazing. That is amazing. Again, if anybody missed my update, you can go back to the beginning. You can go to the middle. And I also will drop my the link to my article if you want to just read it. It's there in the chat. I also just want to recognize this. Leanne, thank you so much for the 20. She said, buy yourself some Shake Shack. I know I've enjoyed Shake Shack twice over the last 2 days. I did the Enrique Delgado Garcia standout in Dedham, Massachusetts, the first official LTL standout for Enrique. And I want to thank all of the people that made that up there, that trip to Dedham on Saturday. I was very surprised. I was there with Lauren from DC. She was up. She took part of that standout, and we wanted to put something together for Enrique's family. And we probably got, I don't know, 20 to maybe 30 people that showed up, and that was awesome. And then I was back out there today, standing out for Enrique again and Karen Reed, and I did pop over there before I headed back. So thank you. But 1 year sober from alcohol, that's something to celebrate. That's awesome. And thank you so much for the 2. I saw Peggy up here earlier. Someone commented. Let's see. Peggy says, I'm the favorite YouTuber. Thank you, Peggy. I appreciate that. You're a sweetheart. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going through the presser. Again, knowing what we know here, the family was brought in to essentially take part of a remembrance. And they talked about Enrique's time at the DA's office. They gathered some of his things and then was essentially shuffled through this presser because that was the way out of the building. And that's why we're getting the strange response from the family.
We try and get him to go home. Say, Enrique, what are you doing here? It's time to go home. And he said, no, Mr. Early, I'll be leaving soon. I got a few things I still need to do. And yeah. He'd always say, I got a little bit more here to do. I always got someone else I'm helping, Mr. Early. And because of this close relationship, someone else will be handling this matter. There's no way this office can handle this. Everyone loved Enrique. This time, the detectives, state police detectives assigned to our office will continue to investigate
Hang on one second.
this matter. They were called to the Massachusetts State Police Academy when Enrique was injured on Thursday, and they began an investigation. They've continued to investigate and continue to do so just as they would on any other case. And they will also work with whoever takes this matter. We don't have a cause of manner of death to release at this time as the autopsy report has been concluded. The autopsy has been concluded. The autopsy report has not been finalized. It will be completed by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. Now, I'm going to be limited in what I can take for questions. I'll try and answer some questions. We're early into this. And again, our office isn't handling this. Today, we're here for Enrique. This is all about Enrique.
Charlie, thank you so much for the, oh, there we go. I get my volume up. Charlie, thank you so much for the one gifted membership. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. There's been reports there's a large fire in Canton. There's a fire in Canton, Mass. Interesting. Maybe we can get some more. If anybody, one of my moderators or anything, have a link, bring that up. We'll talk about it. And I did get the volume corrected, so I apologize on that. Lindy says, thank you so much, Brian, and everyone. I started watching LTL. I'm in the hospital with severe pancreatitis, and it kept me entertained when I'm in the hospital with pancreatitis. It kept me entertained, and I love this community. So I hope I'm still a member. I got to check. I don't see a ghost next to your name, so you're not a member, but I do appreciate you being here and the $2. All right, let's keep playing on here. Maybe we can hear a little bit better.
If I can.
Kelly Reed in the house. Hello, Kelly. How are you? I'm going to turn on the caps.
They're going to continue to investigate. I don't know who will be handling the investigation. I just know it will be someone without a stake in its outcome. Okay? They'll make those decisions. That's not for me to make those decisions.
Which we know. I mean, David Meyer, DA's office, Mass State Police, someone that's not connected to anything. Okay. Sure.
Again, I have a conflict. Whoever does take over this matter will be making those decisions. But right now, we're going to continue to investigate. We're going to do it just as it is. Will other things be done? I'm sure that they will. But that's something I can't speculate on at this point.
Things that involve other state troopers. Would you rather see this go to the federal level and away from the state police?
Okay. I'm not going to speculate as to that, Bob. I did talk to several people about taking over this matter on Friday. I'm not going to get into who they are.
Scott McGinnis in the house. What's up, Scott?
I'm not going to get into who they are. And we talked about the case. My concern is that we can't investigate it, okay? And I want it done by someone who doesn't have a stake in its outcome.
Lynn, thank you so much for the 5 on PayPal. I appreciate that.
I hope that answers your question.
The police are really concerned. People are really concerned that Enrique was beaten to death, that his teeth were knocked out. What are your concerns, and what do you know about what happened at the academy last week?
Again, we know it was in the boxing ring. It was videotaped. But like I said, the autopsy's been concluded, but the report hasn't been finalized. So, but I shouldn't be speaking to that. It's going to be whoever we give this matter to will be able to address that. And they've got to be able to do a thorough and complete investigation. And again, it has to be someone without a stake in its outcome.
Is there a conflict of interest to have the troopers dedicate to your office? Since, State Police Academy and the state troopers, is that a conflict?
At this point, we have a conflict as an office, but right now we can't stop this investigation. In the state troopers that we have assigned to our state police detective unit are some of the finest, most professional people that I've ever dealt with in my life. And I am certain that they will continue to do this in a professional way. And we've got to do things. You just can't stop an investigation. There's some things that have to be, they're time sensitive, they have to keep going. But whoever does handle this matter will have an opportunity to review everything from top to bottom.
I also want to make a note about this too. Monday, it'll be 45 days and no medical report. Still no medical report. And I want to say that I heard Nurse Kim say that it has to be within 40 days. I think it's within 40 days. I'm going to confirm that with her and see if we can talk a little bit more about the medical report. It's not been released yet. Medical report has not been released, and they're coming up past their time. I think it was 40 days. Maybe someone can correct me here in the chat that knows a little bit about releasing medical reports. Joanne, thank you so much for becoming a new member. I appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. I don't know, Scott. I have no idea. I know that they tried to FOIA recruits that had left or had been dismissed or left on their terms. I think that's what the article was stating. And they were trying to charge them $172,000 to get that paperwork together. I actually have another FOIA request that I'm going to be putting in about this case, and I'll let you know what the result of that is, because I just thought of something today, and I'm going to get that sent off on Monday. All right, let's play this here.
Consultants do whatever they think they need to do with regards to this. I'm speaking to people now about whether or not who will take it.
Yeah.
And who, if they have the
Recruits
ability to
that
take
left.
it, and we're going back on different things right now. I don't think another DA's office is appropriate, but I don't want to get into that either. Again, they have state troopers that work. And, it's a paramilitary organization, and there's a chain of command. So again, I'd like to see someone take this that doesn't have a stake in the outcome of this case. Oh, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get in. I'm speculating. We don't know enough. I'm not going to speculate on that again. I just want to have someone looking at this, eyes looking at this, who doesn't have a stake in the outcome of the case. Uh-huh. Not going to speculate. That's too early in the investigation. Again, I got a conflict. They have a conflict. We have a conflict. We love Enrique. And again, this is about Enrique today. We want to make sure that what needs to be done gets done. And again, by someone without a stake in the outcome of this case. Yeah, that'd be a question for the state police.
Goodmans, thank you so much for the one gifted membership. Appreciate that. Welcome, new member.
Looking for privacy right now, but as they tell me, it was his lifelong dream to be a state trooper.
It was.
I begged Enrique to stay. I said, "Come on, you got a place home. You got a home here." And we talked about maybe when he's a state trooper coming back and being a state police detective as well within our office, because I thought he is such a fine, upstanding young man. He'd be the perfect representative for his family, his community. He's just an amazing young man. They don't want to, and they're just asking for privacy. I don't think any of that.
I just want to make a note as the camera pans over. We talked about the bilingual translator. This is her right here. This is her right here. This is the translator. As
do you want to say anything? Or?
So I believe she just translated there.
Yeah.
That is the translator I was talking about.
Your call. You don't have to. It's up to you.
queremos que respeten la privacidad del dolor.
No, they, they, they don't want to say anything, just ask that you respect their privacy at this point. You know, all his coworkers are over here. This is just an amazing kid. Isn't about a year and a half. And I tell you, if he wasn't well, the nicest, if he wasn't, he was one of the nicest employees that ever worked for us, if not the nicest employee. That smile lit up a room, and he could handle people. He'd take Margaret, his supervisor, say, Enrique, you got to get up to the courtroom. You got to get up to the courtroom. And you get just a minute, Margaret, I have to finish with this person. I'm almost done. They want to be heard. I got to help them. And Margaret does an incredible job with her staff, about 24 people. And I know Enrique was one of her favorites too.
Joe, what does it mean that he was pinned with his badge and was given the oath of office before he passed away, that he will now be remembered as a trooper from Massachusetts?
You know, I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask the state police with regards to that. I'm not going to get into that.
See, the thing is that they're not going to say, he's not going to say anything. They're all interconnected in all of this. I mean, the state police works for the DA's office, do investigations. So you're not going to say anything. You know he wants to, but he ain't going to say anything. You know that. Denise, thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate that. So again, we're going to get through the rest of this about another 14 minutes. And then I'll make a statement. And then we're going to wrap up this live for tonight. Listen, I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate everybody being here. This is probably one of my most important lives that I've ever done on this channel. Like literally, probably the most important live that I've done on this channel. This is very important. And again, just like I was talking about earlier in the show, this cannot ever, ever, ever happen again. And we need absolute full transparency for the public and for his family. It's very, very important. I mean, this cannot be buried under the table somewhere. It needs to be put out. And I'll continue to work on this with my sources, get everything together, and continue to put the information out there so you all have it. Because if it's not going to come out from the investigation, I will put it out there. I will let people know. I will let the public know of what I'm hearing, I'm vetting, I'm sourcing, and putting out there. All right, let's finish up this 4 minutes, and then I do have a small statement to end the show. Here we go. I know it's hard to hear the questions.
Right now, we have jurisdiction of the case. And as you can see, we can't handle this case because we have a conflict. Again, we love Enrique. You know, I'm sure other people are going to be weighing in on the case. There'd be some appropriate questions for other people. But we think right now, based on the amount of questions you have, based on the activity, based on the family's concerns, we're going to get someone to review this matter that does not have a stake in its outcome. Our office, yes, we're going to decide where it goes.
Anthony, good to see you. It is crazy, right? Crazy.
We're trying to keep it as transparent as possible.
And I will have more.
And that would be...
We're trying to keep it as transparent as possible. How about just saying we want to keep this transparent in the pursuit of truth and justice?
You know, let someone else take a look at it. Can't get into that at this point. I'm sure that'll all be part. I can't speculate. Can't speculate as to any of that. I have not. No, I'm not looking to give it to another DA's office. I don't think that would be fair to my fellow DAs. They all have state police detective units. They all have a chain of command. I'm looking for someone who can look at this with an independent view, who doesn't have a stake in its outcome. I don't know where we're going to go on that, Bob. The people I talked to were in state. I talked to about 4 different entities.
Yeah, Jody.
On Friday afternoon about the possibility of taking this over for us. Okay? I don't know. I would hope. I would hope so. I would hope so. Yeah. Yeah, I would hope so.
Anybody else would like to say anything about Enrique for us?
Your people don't want it.
Again, the translator that I talked about that worked with the family is here next to Enrique's mom, Sandra.
We're going to leave that alone for right now. These guys are hurting. They were all downstairs crying 5 minutes ago. We're going to give them a break right now, okay? Sure. That's being investigated right now. It appears we have 2 dead. Waiting to get a report back. We don't have anything else for you at this point. Okay, excuse me. 1 dead, 1 critical. 1 dead, 1 critical. I'm sorry. It was at the academy. I don't know who has ownership of it. I just know that who's ever doing the investigation will have that. I have not. I have.
This is personal to you because he was such a great employee and he went on to go into law enforcement.
I think they're talking about another case that happened that day, Jody.
I mean, I love that kid. Love that kid. He's just.
You love him, do the right thing, Joe.
I said, kid, he was 25. He's a young man. Was whole life in front of him. It's just, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's hard for all of us. I'm not.
He knows what
writing this
happened.
off as suffering. There are a lot of people hurting right now.
He knows what happened.
Okay. What's that? Pray for him. Say prayers. Say prayers for his family. They are hurt. All right. Thank you.
Bizarre. Totally bizarre. That poor family. Yeah, just usher everybody out. Right? So that is the way out of the building. They had to come through this to get out. Come through this section of the building to go out. That's what that was. So I'm calling upon Colonel Noble, Moore Healy, our governor, and Andrew Campbell to do the right thing, the Mass State Police to do the right thing, to make sure that this is fully carried with the utmost care, and we need truth and transparency. I'm also calling upon David Meyer as well, the special investigator, to make sure that you are investigating and the truth is going to be told in this case. This can never, ever happen again. Not here in Massachusetts and not across our nation. Ever. Ever, ever.